Hey, what's up, guys? It's Brad, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of this article and prepping for the November election. Around this time, it's pretty much guaranteed that there's going to be more of what we've seen, from 2020, which is civil unrest, chaos, and you just want to be ready for it, whatever may come. And the last thing that you want to be is one of these people that panics in the time of crisis. And I personally saw that in New York, where people were panicking over fucking toilet paper. Imagine how they'll panic when they can't get cash out of the ATM, the bank accounts aren't working, 911 goes down, there's a food shortage, there's food lines, electricity goes off. People will panic. I mean, that's what happens in every emergency. People that are just not prepared, that would rather spend their time watching fucking Netflix, investing in, dumbass shit like another, I don't even know what people spend their money on, PlayStation 3 games, or another shirt or a purse, instead of investing in things that will protect themselves, keep them as an asset instead of a liability, and maybe even help their community and their family. These are worthwhile investments right now because, I mean, we've seen everything that's gone on, right? I mean, I know a lot of people don't live in major cities where the riots have directly affected them or COVID lockdowns have directly affected them, but, it has affected everybody. And people tend to think, oh, it's not going to happen to me. It's kind of not a good mindset to have. A better mindset to have would be like, be prepared. If not for you, then be prepared for your family. You really, as much as people would like to say, oh, I wouldn't really care and they'll figure it out or I'll figure it out at the time, you don't want to see your family starving or hurt or injured, and or God forbid having a medical emergency and there's nothing you can do about it. That's not a position that you want to be in. So do your best to get prepared, and that's what I made this guide for. This guide goes over some of my better preps, things that I'm personally doing. All the stuff that I post on the website is stuff that I personally do. So I know that it's legit. And while I've never been through a crisis before, like food shortages, I've been through the COVID thing, I've been through the riots, I saw how fucking scary that was, and I've read quite a bit since then that makes me feel like, okay, I need to get ready for the future. So the first thing that you really want to focus on is water filtration, because you can live, I think, about 30 days without food. You can survive. It's not going to be pleasant or comfortable, but you can only survive 3 days without water. I've listed several different ways that you can filter your water, either from the sink or the tap, a pond or a stream, in different price ranges. Like for 20 bucks, you can get a portable filter called a Sawyer filter that filters out parasites, bacteria, heavy metals, all this stuff. And it's been proven to filter that stuff out, so it makes the pond water even potable and drinkable. And it filters about 100,000 gallons for 20 bucks. So that's something you can go check out now, or you can go to my site and I have links there and stuff like that, so that it's all organized for you. If you have a bit more money, you can invest in what's known as a Berkey filter, a big Berkey. It's a big it's like a big stainless steel container with a couple of high-grade water filters in it, and it filters water very, very well, gets all the parasites, bacteria out of it, and it filters several thousand gallons of water so that you can survive long-term on it with, assuming that there's chaos. Anything to be an asset. The next thing would be food. Ideally, have storable food. So freeze-dried food is a great option. They sell it in buckets, or you can just get freeze-dried food in BJ's or Walmart or Amazon or whatever, and that will last you about 25 years if you store it in a bucket with oxygen absorbers, or just like, they sell it in buckets and it'll last 25 years. It's been said that if you can survive the first 72 hours after a major shit hits the fan scenario, you have like a way higher chance of surviving. Many people are not going to survive the first 72 hours of a major shit hits the fan scenario. for a number of reasons. So, make sure that you have some storable food. The freeze-dried food is great. Get canned food, and with the canned food and just like the short-term, like I would say the freeze-dried food is like long-term food, and then you have short-term food that should be food that lasts for like 6 years. Canned food lasts about 6 years if the can isn't damaged and it's stored properly. So, get food that you like to eat, whatever that may be. I like the chunky soups by Campbell's. They're pretty good. I also got like spices and sauces and stuff like that so that, I can make the food taste a bit different. I got cooking oils. I have stuff to cook it in, and so on and so forth. So that's food. Just have enough so that you can get through. Personally, I have enough for myself to last a while. And then, super long term, you'll want to think about learning to forage, what type of, what types of stuff grow in the wilderness that you can just pick and eat. And there's a book that I've included in my product, by the way, which talks about that, but maybe I'll put some info on the site as well. Have chickens that lay eggs, goats, something like that. That's another way to have very sustainable, long-term, off-the-grid living situation. Next thing would be power, which, isn't entirely necessary, but highly recommended that you consider it. The best one that you can get nowadays is a solar paneled power, because propane or gas powered stuff, that is very hard to get. If you look at any shit hits the fan scenarios like what happened in Beirut with that huge bomb that went off, they've been living in chaos. There's people wait days in line to get gasoline for their cars, which is their only fuel source, and they also use the gasoline to power and cook their stoves and stuff and get heating. So it's just a total nightmare fucking scenario there. Solar, if you have a solar panel and you have a generator, you can actually power some of your electronics that way. You can charge your phone, you can charge your lighters, you can charge different things. So that's a worthwhile investment. They're pretty cheap right now. You can still get a 330 watt one for like $250. The solar panel might be another $100, but for $350 you can actually charge and power some things in your house, some lights, so on and so forth, if shit hits the fan. Next thing would be self-defense. Very important to have this. This is one of the most important things next to food and water, actually. If you can afford it, go get some guns, get some ammo, get an AR-15 if you can afford it, get a handgun if you can afford it, get a shotgun if you can afford it. Ammo prices are really high right now, but just try to get something so that you can defend yourself, and then also get some training on it so that you know how to operate it and you're not scared around it. That just goes without saying. Another thing would be getting knives, hatchets, axes for splitting firewood, doing stuff around the house, but also the knives serve as a fire starter, and also self-defense. I mean, if God forbid the whole infrastructure fucking collapses, ammo is not going to be around forever unless you know how to do reloading. So you'll need to rely on a knife. If you do have to fight off people as self-defense, God forbid, at least you'll have a nice fighting knife. And I have all my recommendations for all these on the site for free, and then in my product in great depth, right? So there's that. And I mean, it just goes on and on. I could spend, a long time talking about this. If you want better information, better than the information that I have here, there are YouTube channels that dedicate their whole channel to prepping. I'd recommend checking that out. I also put together a nice cohesive guide that I recommend on my site for free. I have a whole huge section on my product about prepping, about long-term survival, because I've been thinking about this for a long time. And if you're interested in that, that helps me keep going. It's something that you can save to a hard drive, put it in a Faraday cage, and have it with you so that you can always have that information on everything related to survival and military tactics and shooting and boxing and MMA and how to grow stuff, how to harvest, how to raise chickens and shit. I put all that stuff in there so that you guys would have it and I would have it. What else? I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be considered, but I would say those are the most important things. If you just have the bases covered at very least, You're not going to be one of these people that panics. I mean, most people walking around are just like, oh, that'll never happen, that'll never happen. But then again, how much of 2020 would you, like if you told me in 2019 that there would be a pandemic that shuts everything down worldwide and we'd have millions of people starving globally and supply chain shortages and a corrupt government that's, you know, is involved with all this heinous activity, I would have probably doubted you too. But I think that it's just wise to expect whatever is coming next. Okay, so all that stuff is going up on my blog, bradholiday.com. I'm restarting it and I'm putting all that info on there. I'd recommend you start prepping today. Just whenever you go to the grocery store, just grab a couple of things of canned food, grab a couple, 2 liters of whatever you like to drink, soda, seltzer, whatever. When you drink it, filter the water and put it back in, and then store it off in a corner in your house and build up a little food supply and water supply, and just have that going for you. Get a solar generator. Start getting some Bic lighters. See if you can get weapons. Just like different things. And again, it's all on my site. And just don't assume that like we're in normal times where we could just do whatever, because I don't think that that's where we're at. I don't think that that's too wise. Okay, that's about it, guys. Hope you guys have a great day. Be safe out there. Don't be complacent. I hope you're not, because in a time of crisis, personally, I would rather be somebody that's prepared, that's an asset to the people I care about, rather than people that haven't been prepping, that are laughing at guys like me that are prepping, and then they come to my house and they're like, oh my God, we didn't prepare, we need food, we need water, I don't know what to do, I was just going to come to your house. I tell those people straight up, I'm like, dude, there's barely enough for me long term. I'm not going to bail you out when the shit hits the fan. I've been trying to tell you for months, get prepped. Look at everything that's happening, get prepped. And you ignore me or laugh at me. So, when the shit hits the fan, like, please, don't come to me, asking me for this stuff. So a couple other things while I'm looking around and seeing it. Medical supplies, and try to get some training on it, and communications. Get ham radios, get two-way radios, get, just different ways to communicate if the internet goes out, or the cell phone goes out. You need to be able to communicate with the people that you care about. And one last thing would be, get a group of people that are like-minded. And when you have a group that's like-minded, you can fill in gaps in your preps and your skill sets, and you can go a lot farther than just doing it by yourself. All right, that's about it, guys. Hope you guys enjoy. Remember to subscribe to my blog. Just put your email in so I can stay in touch with you no matter what. And then also, if you're interested in my product, really appreciate it if you support the channel, you support me. And then also, I really, give everything that I've got to that product to make it excellent for you. All right, that's about it, guys. Hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you soon.